Welcome to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. If you would like to support this channel, please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you enjoy the content. And now, let's start with the first story. It's called Good Micromanagement. I worked for a tech reseller company that sold electronics goods. A sales rep in another department asked to work with me in the product management department, so I decided to give him a shot. Formal interview and all, and ended up offering him the position. What he didn't know is that I was told he was not a good fit for the role, and other people did not want him in the department. I should have listened to them, but I wanted to give him a chance. After he started his new position, he immediately started doing the bare minimum. In our one-on-one, I told him I need him to be consistent and provide me a report of everything he did the previous week. A bit of micromanagement, but he was literally doing nothing, not taking client calls or closing any deals. After 2 weeks go by with no weekly report and me asking for it nicely, he blew up and wrote me an essay about, "You are always on top of me. I can't work like this." I basically stuck my neck out for this guy, so I cancelled my one-on-ones, stopped asking for reports, removed him from all team meetings and ignored his emails. He ended up fired at the quarterly review for not completing minimum activities. Didn't last 2 months. The next story is called Do My Project. This happened nearly 20 years ago, during my first year of college. I was assigned a group presentation and placed with 3 random people in my class. The first meeting went well. When we all got up to leave, one of my male group members, who I will call Tool, squeezed my arm. Hard. I looked at him like he had crusty burgers all over his face, yanked my arm away and asked, "Do you need something?" He scolded at me. "I'm running for class president and won't have time to do the presentation. You are going to do my part." I laughed. I most certainly am not. Tool put his face close to mine and whispered somewhat menacingly, "You are a woman and will do as I say." I laughed again and said, "I don't even know you, dude. You don't get to tell me what to do." Tool whispered even more menacingly, "You are going to do my part of the presentation. And that's that." He then walked away quickly. I had no idea what to do. Do I tell the professor? Do I tell the campus police about him squeezing my arm this hard? Do I tell the other group members? Obviously, I wasn't going to do this guy's presentation. I wanted to get back at him, however, because he put his hands on me and I was petty. Then it came to me. The day of our presentation, and just before it was our turn to present, I handed Tool his project. A single piece of paper with only the words "Tool's presentation" typed on it. I grinned and asked, "Isn't it great?" Tool looked like he wanted to vomit. I then leaned in and whispered, "You are going to get a terrible grade, and that's that." He stuttered some nonsense during his portion of the presentation, and while I do not know for certain what grade he received, it couldn't have been good. I got an A+. He never came to class again, and I never saw him on campus again. I don't know if he dropped out or what happened, but I do know he wasn't elected president. The third story is called Group Project. A few years ago, when I was doing my undergrad, I was in a 300 level marketing class. At the beginning of this class, we were assigned groups that we were supposed to work together throughout the semester. We were to put together a marketing proposal for our local professional sports team and pitch it to them as part of our final grade. Every topic we were learning in class was to be directly applied to our marketing strategy. And the whole semester, our professor would basically walk us through from beginning to end on how to put it together. Early on, we divvied up roles for each person. One person does market analysis, another person does most applicable marketing strategies, another person does budgeting, etc. There were about 7 people in our group, so plenty of help to be had for the different parts of the project. Or there should have been at least. We would meet up weekly, and early on, a lot of it was just kind of roundtable discussions about what direction we wanted to take it. But as the semester went on, we started to notice some people were falling behind a bit. Each person falling behind apologized and assured us that they would get all they needed to be done when it was due. They were just swamped with other projects, etc. Come the final week, when we were to put all our separate parts together and make it all mesh, guess what? They hadn't done anything all semester. They might have had a couple of bullet points on their subject, but it was far from a completed project and basically something any middle schooler could have lined out. I was super mad. I and a few others in the group had spent a lot of time doing the research and putting it all together in a presentable form that was sure to impress not only my professor, but the marketing team of the affiliated sports group. The other reliable members of my group and I spent a lot of late nights working together to cover for the other teammates. But alas, it was too little too late, and we were not going to be able to submit something presentable by the deadline. I sure as heck didn't want a bad grade for the amount of work I put in for not only my portion, but the portions of those who didn't do anything. I met with my professor during her office hours and asked for a deadline extension. She replied, "Absolutely not. I made you aware of this project on day 1 of the semester, so you have quite literally had all semester to work on this. Why would you fall short of the deadline and need an extension?" I explained the situation to the professor, who graciously understood what I had gone through. She asked me to provide a list of all members of my team, exactly what and how much to the project they had contributed, and gave us an additional 24 hours to submit what we could. She said she would take what I told her into consideration. Come the day of the presentation, our professor was walking around with the marketing professionals we were to present to, and I think she was listening closely to each person's part of the presentation to verify what I had told her. Some of us knocked it out of the park on our portions. Others very quickly glanced over the topics. It was evident who was a contributor and who was a leech. About a week later, once final grades were posted, our team group chat was flooded with angry messages. I thought we had a great marketing proposal, but she gave me an F for it, type messages from a few of the members. I got an A in the class. The last story is called Operating Procedures. I was a sarcastic and easily annoyed guy in my 20s. This often didn't help me get along with older or corporate types. I was working at a certain pumpkin-colored big box home improvement store one spring in the flooring department. It was just starting to get warm out, and the store didn't have much AC, so I was looking forward to a magical date when certain employees were allowed to switch their pants for shorts. Problem is that we had a new department manager, I'll call him Richard. He was aggressively chasing a promotion to assistant manager, then store manager. He thought he could accomplish that by being a super by-the-book guy and being relentlessly metrics focused. This translated into a manager who was a know-it-all micromanaging jerk. I am scheduled to open at 5 AM one day on the fabled day of cooler bottom wear, and I walk in all light and airy and bare-legged. Richard, who was the overnight manager the previous night, saw me and threw a fit. "Why are you out of uniform?" he asked. "I'm not. I can wear shorts starting today," I proclaimed. "Not your position in your department. Who told you that you could?" he retorted. "The employee handbook and SOP? I can show you if you don't believe me," I offered. "I know the SOP, and your department doesn't get to wear shorts. That's only garden. Go home and change right now," he demanded, face getting redder from my defiance. "Okay, Richard, if that's how you want to play, I'll be back in an hour," I sighed. "Maybe the loss of an hour of pay will teach you something. I know better." The reason I know better is that I'm one of the weirdos who actually read the entire standard operating procedure document and the employee handbook, which is actually just a subsection of the SOP. And I really hate being wrong, so I checked the SOP before doing anything different day to day. In my store, the SOP was like invoking God. If the SOP said so, that won every single argument. So I go home, change into pants, but bring my shorts back to work with me. By now, Richard's shift is over, and I asked the new morning manager on duty, Darren, to meet with me. "Why? What's up?" "Oh, just an SOP issue." "Oh, okay. Give me like 10 minutes. So I swung by my desk and printed out several things. My latest pay stub that included my official job title and department number, the company directory that listed the department names and their associated numbers, the SOP that dealt with when and which departments and employees can wear shorts, the annual email from the regional VP confirming which departments could wear shorts starting when, which also included the line, "And this letter is to be posted at the time clock between these dates," the SOP detailing the company transportation and mileage reimbursement policy, and a Google Maps route that mirrored the route I take to and from work with the total mileage highlighted. I meet with Darren and explained what happened and handed him each page in turn as they became relevant. At the end, we agreed that I was right on every single account and asked me what I wanted. I want the time. I was turned away before I could clock in, so I want to be paid starting at 5 AM. Feel free to check the CCTV if you want to confirm when I arrived. I want the mileage because Richard sent me on essentially a company errand with my own vehicle through no fault of my own. I want this letter posted at the clock like it says it's supposed to be. I want you to talk to Richard about this because I told him this was the SOP before he sent me home. And I'm changing back into my shorts. All of that sounds more than fair. Get the paperwork for the clock adjustment and mileage for me today and I'll sign it. The letter mysteriously went missing from the time clock the next day, but I replaced it every day until I happened to see Richard angrily snatch it off the board and throw it away. I reported that as well, and the letter stopped going missing. He didn't talk to me much, and I was transferred to another department a month later. So all in all, win-win I think. And with that, we end today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stories and today's video? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do and want to support me, please subscribe and hit the like button. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.